Good morning, everyone. Hello, it's Carol from the Crafty Emporium. Just in case you didn't know. Just in case you didn't know, it's me. It's me. Today, I am going to do a quick tutorial on this here. I'm going to explain first why I'm doing the tutorial. So on my Facebook group, I actually put up something about, does anyone want to do Valentines projects? And it was kind of a resounding no. But I did think to myself, wouldn't it be lovely, bearing in mind that it's Valentine's Day, wouldn't it be lovely to send out a rack to someone to share the crafting love? So I said that I would do a tutorial on the project that I was thinking of, and we can all make one. Those that are joining in the event, we can all make one and then choose someone off the rack list, someone who they don't know, and send it out in the post on a date where I think it was the 9th of February, so that the recipient would get it for Valentine's Day. And it's just about sharing the love, really. So that's the idea behind doing the tutorial on this project. Now, this itself I received as a gift from one of the ladies on my Facebook group, a friend of mine called Lynn, and I just loved it. So thank you, Lynn. So I made some myself. So I'm going to show you roughly, I'm going to show you Lynn's version first. So let me move that out of the way a little bit because I don't want to get ink on it. So this is the front. You could have it that way, but I'm having it that way. And it's basically, don't you love that noise? What is it about that noise that we love? Anyway, it's a Glassine bag. And so what she did was she stamped the Tiffany Co image on a piece of calico and stuck that onto the front of the Glassine bag, and that acts as a pocket. And then within the pocket there's a large tea bag which is also stamped. And in fact, if I take and then she's filled it with pieces of ephemera, and that's why I thought it would be a lovely idea to do it as a rack. I don't know whether you can you see the image on there? Because I thought, we all say, how much stuff have we got? We've got loads and loads of stuff. Oh, and it's filled with Tim Holtz Peoples. We've got loads of stuff. Well, let's share the love a little bit. So that was in the front pocket, and then you open it up. Now the tassel was on the inside, but I've moved it to the outside. And then you open it up, and inside the first pocket of the Glassine bag, she made some tags. So these were the tags, and there was a pocket as well with some more tags in. But I thought, what a lovely idea, and it's something that's really quite quick and easy to make. And we've all got loads of bits of ephemera and pieces that we've cut out and, we used up on a project and we might not use any more of. And then there's pockets on the inside, and then inside the pockets there's a little coin envelope which is decorated the front up. And then inside of there's some lace appliques, bows. And then she's done a tag where she's done some embossing. And then on the other pocket, it's the same again. So there's another tag and another coin envelope. I can't remember what was inside this one though. Oh yeah, these vellum die cuts. Beautiful images. And I don't want to use them. I love them. But when you've only got a few of something and you're like, oh, not using it. Yeah. So so I need to get some more of those, so then I can keep those and then use the others. And then in the back, there's the back pocket, and again there's another couple of tags in there. So I'm just going to show you the basics. I'm not going to go into an in-depth tutorial. That was in that one, wasn't it? It was in the front pocket. That was in there. Okay, put you away later. Okay, so that's the idea anyway. So I've got a big glassine bag. Now this one measures, and it's the same size actually as the one that Lynn used. This one measures 9" by 6 3/4 inches. Okay. Now you can use a tea dyed one, a coffee dyed one. But in this instance I'm just going to leave it plain, because I think by the time I've added all the fabrics and the lace and filled it all with bits and pieces, it'll still have that lovely crinkly effect. Now what Lynn did originally was she stamped on that piece of calico and put it on the front. Now I'm not very good at stamping, it's not my forte, I can't always get it right, but I used this stamp, which I'll show you in a moment how it printed up. By Dornhauser. Does it have a name? No, it doesn't have a name, but that's the image anyway, and that's the info that's on the side. Oh, it's a Inkadinkadoo one, so that must be the product number, is it? 8372 maybe? Anyway, that's the info. And the ink that I used was my Hero Arts Shadow Ink Raspberry Jam, a mid-tone, and because this is a permanent ink, that's why I used it on the fabric, so that if it does get wet, I'm keeping it over that way because I've still got ink on it, if it does get wet it's not going to run with it being permanent. Now I looked through my fabrics and I found this one. Now that's the right way around. It's got a white printed image on it, but I turn it over to the back because sometimes we don't always look at the back of fabrics, and sometimes the backs are just as interesting, and instead of it being sort of a white image, it's come out as a creamy coloured image, so it fades into the background even more, but there's still the image there. And I printed, using my stamp, the image onto the fabric. Okay, so that one wasn't quite so good, that one worked out better, and I've tried all sorts of different methods, but yeah, it's I probably don't do it often enough. That's probably why I'm not very good at it. I don't do it often enough. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this out now, and excuse the state of my nails, they're still coffee stained. I folded my glassine bag in half so that it forms the booklet shape, and I'm going to cover that whole surface area with this. So I need it to be 4.5-ish, a little less, by let's do 6.5 by 4.25, so that I've got a little bit of space to form a pocket. So that's me 4.25 there. Now I'm not doing anything fancy with the fabric, just the same as Lynn did. She hasn't hemmed it, she hasn't, you know, zigzagged it, she just cut it out. So I'll just say 4.25, 4.25. Oh no, I can't sing, can I? Because otherwise Cat will get into trouble with the nurses. Won't you, Cat? Yes. Okay. And what? Oh, look. I keep forgetting my measurements. 6.5 we're going to. So let's have a butcher's. 6.5. Yeah, about something like that. You can tell I'm I'm not one for doing stuff very precise in terms of measurements and stuff, because sometimes, I mean, yeah, it's great sometimes to get it, you know, right and all the rest of it, but sometimes I think that takes a bit of the fun out of it, and the more the creative side, I suppose, rather than the fun. It stops you thinking on your feet of like, oh, now then, I need to apply a little bit of logic there and just think that one through a bit. But it does, I feel, take away some of the creativity sometimes if we're too precise. There are times though. Okay, so as we can see, that now fits on there, and I've got that little bit of space to just be able to get into the pocket there. Now this next bit is going to be a bit trial and error. Let me just have a slurp on my tea. Hang on. Oh, that's better. Because I'm going to try Fabri-Tac, and I don't know how Fabri-Tac works on a glassine bag. So I bought my glossy accents along as well, just in case. So I want it along 3 sides. Now you can stitch this on with your sewing machine, but only top and bottom. You can't stitch it down this end, because you won't be able to use that as the pocket. So don't get carried away with yourself and think, oh yeah, I'll sew that on. No. Come on. Now a lot of people swear by Fabri-Tac glue. And it's okay. It's not my favourite glue. Okay. Let's sit that on there. Oh, I went a touch too far there, look. Okay, and we'll see if that holds. And we'll carry on with the next bit of fabric as well. So I'm just going to leave that to just set off a little. Now then, open up the glassine bag. Now sometimes glassine bags come with a little flap on the end, like the little envelope flap bit. You might want to cut that off. You will obviously then need to make sure that the folded end, like the base of the bag, you also trim a little tiny bit off that, so then you've got a pocket at this end as well. So you've got one at that end and one at that end. Now what Lynn did inside of hers, again, where she did 2 triangular pockets on the inside. So what I did was I measured the half width of the glassine bags, which is 4.5 inches. So I cut myself a square of fabric out to 4.5 inches, and then I cut it diagonally. So if you imagine, this is the fabric I'm going to use. So I cut out a square that measures 4.5 inch by 4.5 inch, and then I cut it from corner to corner. So I've now got my 2 corner pieces. And again, I'm going to attempt to use the Fabri-Tac glue, but this time I just need to note how high up I'm going. So I'm starting about there. We only want a thin bead of it. The other thing I find as well, look, it starts to get gloopy on the end. Now, if this glue doesn't work on the glassine bags, I will pull it off, start again, and probably use my my glossy accent, because I know that does work on the glassine bags. Okay, so 1 pocket in place. Do the next one. How high up do I need to go? So about there. And along there. And of course the nice thing is, because it's rough edges of the fabric, it'll start to fray a little as time goes on, which will give it that more vintage feel about it. Now the fabric that I'm using is actually vintage. I used it from my my Laura Ashley days. It's a Laura Ashley fabric from many moons ago. Okay, so that's my 2 pockets in place. Now the other thing that Lynn did was she put lace on the inside as well as on the outside, so that's entirely up to you whether you want to do that. She also, what she did originally was she put the lace on and then she put the pocket on top, but I'm going to do it the other way around, just to cover over a little bit of the raw edges a little bit. Okay, so I've got my lace and I'm just, ooh, lost my lid, to find that in a minute. So I'm just going to run some glue along the edge of the pocket, and you need to do this in sequence so that it all sits right. Now when you put your lace on, you need to extend it beyond this point here and beyond this point up here. So I'm just going to stick that on the edge there. Okay, just bear with me. Let's get my lid. There we go. Now, if I cut following the line of the bag, I will end up with a nice finish to the lace. Okay. These are not my best scissors, mind you, they are my paper scissors. Okay, now then, let me just show you this bit. If I just stuck a straight edge onto the end, it kind of, well, it overhangs for a start. So if you bring it down so that you've got the straight edge, or so that you've got the width of the lace all on the edge of the pocket, you then end up with a gap. So that's why I extend it beyond, so then I can trim it off at the angle, because trying to guess that angle in the first place is a bit difficult. So if you use the bag as your guide and use that as the straight line to cut it off at the correct angle. So that's why I always overhang, even when I'm doing paper pockets and attaching lace to my paper pockets in my journals. I always overhang it and do that, or do this, and then that one down there. Ta-da! It's pretty, isn't it? Pretty. Okay. Turn you over that way. So I'm going to attach this glue now. Oh, this lace to the outside edge. So I'm going to do the 2 ends first. Or am I? No, I'm going to do the 2 long ones first. Yeah, that makes sense because of the overlapping. It's just my computer letting me know that someone's probably commented on Facebook about something. Now then, do I want, yeah, I want it overhanging the edge, so that you can see it on the inside. Use my rubbish scissors. And then I'm going to do one across there. I also thought as well with these is they make lovely little additional booklets to add into your journals as well. And then you've got that lovely crinkly sound. Okay, so we've got the top and the bottom done, and now I'm going to do the two sides. So I'm just going to straighten the pattern off. There we go. And I'm going to go over the lace up to the edge of the bag, and over the lace at this end up to the edge of the bag. I think I maybe put a touch too much glue on there then. But I'm going to extend it beyond up to the edge of the lace. Okay, so I haven't finished this lace here, which is where the bag finishes, because then I would have an empty corner. So I've actually extended it all the way up to the lace. I'll show you what I'm going to do in a sec. I want to get all this in place first. So then I can place glue along that bottom edge there. And again, this lace is up to the edge of this lace here, and then I'm going to chop it off there. Now once I've finished decorating it, I'm going to sit this on my sheet of plastic, and I will sit that on there, and I will flip that bit back, and I will add a little bit of glue on the edge of the lace up here, so that the lace will then adhere to the lace and so that it won't be flapping. Now the next thing that, now I bought them, where did I put them? Flowers. Oh, they're there. Right in front of me now. The other thing is I'm going to add some of my Hobbycraft flowers to the front. Now this is only a mere suggestion as to what you could do. You don't have to do this. You can take the idea and run with it. Now for these I'm going to use my glossy accents, and I'm just going to plonk one in the corner there. Or not plonk, artfully position. Yeah, Carol, living in a dream world. And I'm going to artfully position that one there. Put my pin back in so it don't clog. Okay, so then I would need to leave that all to dry. But because I am demonstrating, I'm going to flip that over. Now what I could do is I could do exactly what Lynn's done and put the lace again on the inside. And again put it on in the order that I've done previously, which is one at the top, one at the bottom, and then the two side ones. Alright? But what I'm going to do is, bear with me a minute. Just need to find me other lace. No. There it is. Okay. But I might put a narrower lace on the inside. So then you've got like a double effect of lace here at the bottom. Do I want to do that? Or shall I do the same? I'm going to do the same. And the reason why I'm putting the lace on the inside as well is for the simple fact that it just helps to... Ambulance just going by. It just helps to cover up these raw edges of fabric. In fact, what I might do is I might just do the sides and the bottom and leave the top. Yeah, that's the great thing about creating is as you start to create, you're always thinking about the next bit and thinking, oh, actually, if I do that, then if I try that, maybe I could do that. Oh, look, my flowers come off because the glue hasn't set. Okay. So I'm doing this to the length of the bag. It's a delicate operation whilst the glue's all still wet, that you're not disturbing anything else. Okay, and then I'm going to do the two sides. And then of course once you've done all of this, because I'm now running out of time, is you then fill it up with all sorts of bits and pieces that you like. And one of the things that I've done is I've got some tea bags, you know, the empty ones that you buy, and I've stamped the same image. It bled a bit on this one. I've stamped the same image on the tea bags, and on these fabricy type ones it's very, very pale, very subtle, because I just use the ink again rather than inking it up, and then I can just pop those inside my pockets and fill them up with all the bits. Anyway, I think you get the general gist of how it all goes together, because as I say, once you've done all of this, you then tart and titivate to your heart's content. So for those that are doing the rack, and as I say, it's not a swap, you get nothing in return. This is just about you being a kind, generous crafter, sharing your goodies. I'm looking forward to seeing what you all create, and I hope the recipients enjoy it. For those that aren't part of the rack, I hope you get some inspiration from this, and again a very big thank you to Lynn. So I'm going to say goodbye now, because my phone's going to cut off very shortly from recording. It's going to go, oh, you've gone on too long, Carol. And I'm going to carry on. I'll see you all again really soon. See you later. Bye.